Lucas Tomlinson with all the details on Secretary Hegseth's upcoming press conference this morning. Hey, Lucas.
Good early morning, Carly and Todd. President Trump returned to the White House late last night from the NATO summit in The Hague after ordering the Pentagon to share intelligence with the world about that B-2 strike on Iran.
भाई ट्रम्प की ऐसी बेहुदी बेइज्जती हुई है, आप सोच नहीं सकते। ट्रम्प डालता है भाई B2 बॉम्बर ने फोड़ा, फिर पेंटागन डाल रहा था, कुछ नहीं हुआ। और ट्रम्प सोच रहा है भाई मैं इतना प्रेसिडेंट होकर मैं ये सब बोल रहा हूँ, फिर पेंटागन मेरी बेइज्जती कर रहा है। क्या चालू है? पूरी दुनिया में मुझे भी नोबेल प्राइज़ चाहिए और मैं ऐसी बेइज्जती पेंटागन अभी के अभी इंटेल दे।
Iran's nuclear sites and the CIA director now weighing in with a statement of his own saying, quote, CIA can confirm that a body of credible intelligence indicates Iran's nuclear program has been severely damaged by the recent targeted strikes. During a lengthy press conference following the summit, President Trump and his defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, insist the mission.
The reality here is that अब पहले तो पेंटागन ने बोला था कि भाई कुछ नहीं हुआ, फिर अब पेंटागन बोल रहा है कि भाई बहुत कुछ हो गया। पेंटागन को भी यहाँ पे हम क्लियरली देख सकते हैं कि बहुत प्रेशराइज किया गया है बाय वाइट हाउस। ऑल दो डैमेज हुआ है, पर दिखा रहे भाई ऐसा डैमेज हुआ है, एक्चुअल में इतना भी डैमेज हुआ है क्या, अब वो तो उनको ही पता। पर हाँ, इमेजेस दिख रहे हैं, हम क्लियरली देख सकते हैं। बट फिर अगर डैमेजेस हुए नहीं थे तो ऑन द फर्स्ट प्लेस ऐसी न्यूज़ लिखी क्यों कोई? ट्रम्प का दिमाग सठिया जाता है, बताए बहुत जल्दी सठिया जाता है।
Those bombers were sent on was completed.
There are numerous of those reports, and they're coming out fast and furious. But the most respected ones we've already seen. The site was obliterated, just like I said it was, and just like the pilots should be given.
ये बुढ़ा सठिया गया है। अब सोचो, अब जेन्युइनली सोचो कि इसका दिमाग कभी भाई ये इंडिया की साइड ले लेता है, कभी ये पाकिस्तान की साइड ले लेता है, कभी ये सीज़ फायर अनाउंस करके बोल देता है भाई मैंने सब कुछ किया। मतलब इसका दिमाग ठिकाने पे नहीं रहता है, ठीक है। इसका क्या सटकी होगी, क्या फ्रस्ट्रेशन लेवल हुआ उसका जब उसको मालूम पड़ा कि पेंटागन ऐसा सब बोलता है।
Credit for.
So if you want to make an
अब तो बहुत खुश है।
assessment of what happened at Fordo, you better get a big shovel and go really deep, because Iran's nuclear program is obliterated.
As the ceasefire between Iran and Israel appears to be holding, Trump says he's looking at talking to Iran next week and perhaps working on a pledge by the Islamic Republic to give up its nuclear program.
Look, we're going to talk to them next week with Iran. We may sign an agreement. I don't know. To me, I don't think it's that necessary. I mean, they had a war, they fought. Now they're going back to their world. I don't care if I have an agreement or not. The only thing we'd be asking for is what we were asking for before about we want no nuclear, but we destroyed the nuclear.
And Carly, that
अभी न्यूक्लियर को अगर इन्होंने डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया, then there is no need for agreement. भाई ट्रम्प तो नाच रहा रहेगा, उसको तो भाई अब नोबेल प्राइज़ के लिए एक और ट्वीट डाल सकते हैं। मैंने इज़राइल की मदद की, ईरान का न्यूक्लियर प्रोग्राम रोक दिया, शांति हो गई, टेररिज्म से बचा लिया।
a Pentagon briefing scheduled for 8 a.m. Eastern. We'll be carrying it right here live. Stay tuned right here on the Fox News channel.
Yes, we certainly will be watching.
How's that for tease?
Thank you. That's an amazing tease. We will do it more. So I say keep your station locked to Fox News. How about that?
We very nice.
Yeah. Doubling down. Lucas, thank
Locked
you.
and loaded.
Let's bring in former NSC Chief of Staff under President Trump, Alex Gray. Alex, let's start there. What are you expecting to hear from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth in just a few hours?
Well, thanks, Todd. I would expect Secretary Hegseth is going to lay out in more granular detail what we've learned about the operation since it's ended, what we know about the success, what we've learned about the post-battle damage assessment.
अभी तो बहुत कुछ होना बाकी है, बहुत सारी चीजें जाननी बाकी है.
And I think hopefully what the Secretary is going to give us more information on is kind of a granular readout.
फोर्डो को पहले क्या था, आफ्टर क्या था, भाई जला के रख दिया, खाक कर दिया. ओके, डैमेजेस दिख रहे हैं कि एरियाज़ में जैसे कि अगर हम नोटिस करें तो यहाँ पे एक साइट थी, वो यहाँ पे नहीं, डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिए. तो यहाँ की साइट की ज़रूरत नहीं थी डिस्ट्रॉय करने की, इससे किया नहीं, यहाँ पे कर दिया, ठीक है. पर एक न्यूज़ ये भी आई है कि ईरान का फॉरेन मिनिस्टर बोलता है कि भाई सब सेफ़ है, उनके जो 400 किलो के यूरानियम है वो सेफ़ है। हाँ, यहाँ पे तोड़ दिया रहेगा, पर ईरान एंटिसिपेटेड इट वेरी वेल, बहुत पहले सोच लिया कि ये लोग अटैक करने वाले हैं। यहाँ से अंडरग्राउंड कहीं तो लेके गए यूरानियम को। डैमेज हुआ है, हाँ हुआ है, यहाँ पे हुआ तो है, पर यूरानियम इज सेफ।
Of what the intelligence agencies have been able to learn in the last couple of days, so we can finally put to rest some of these naysayers who have been openly contradicting what the president has said, some of the leaking that's gone on, just so we can have kind of a definitive understanding of the success that the president and his senior officials have been telling us. I think I'd like to get that formally in the record. That would be helpful.
And those naysayers, to be clear, once again, have been calling into question the success of this absolutely remarkable mission based off of a non-low confidence intelligence assessment. Let's keep that clear as well. Meantime, the president trying to explain what happened during the strike. Take a listen.
They call it dust, but it's very, very heavy. It's very, very hard to move. And they were way down. You know, they're 30 stories down. We think it's covered with granite, concrete, and steel.
Okay, in light of that fact that it appears that the Iranian nuclear program is in really bad shape, I'll just say that before Pete Hegseth speaks.
हाँ, it is not in bad shape भाई। 2 अटैक हुआ है, पर वो लोग भी जानते थे ना कि अगर अमेरिका धमकी दे रहा तो भाई फोड़ेगा वो भी जानते थे अमेरिका की पावर्स को। लोग मूर्ख तो नहीं है, पागल तो नहीं हो दिमाग से, अमेरिका के जैसे, ट्रम्प के जैसे। फटाक से उन्होंने उस जगह को वहाँ से घुमा दिया, मूव कर दिया। इट इज सेफ।
Speaks in a couple of hours. What should we expect to come out of this Iran-U.S. meeting?
Well, I think that the Iranians saw exactly what happens when you have a president who's willing to not just talk endlessly for no purpose, but who views negotiations as an opportunity to advance U.S. interests, and who is unafraid if you're on the other side of the table and you're unwilling to be a good faith negotiator, he's willing to use the United States military to make sure that our interests are protected. And the Iranians had their chance. They lost it. And now they have to make a strategic decision. Do they want to spend the next 10 years as a global pariah with no nuclear deterrent? Or do they want to have an opportunity, which I think President Trump is sincere in giving them, to try and re-enter the global community with a good faith effort to try and get back on track with the United States and our allies? I think the president is very genuine when he says he wants to have, as he said many times over the last couple of months, he'd like to have negotiations that lead to.
ट्रम्प को लगता है कि भाई वो बहुत बड़ा मसीहा है, ठीक है। यूएस के सारे प्रेसिडेंट्स को ये लगता है कि वो वर्ल्ड पीस लाते हैं, वो बहुत बड़े मसीहा है। कोई मसीहा वसीहा नहीं है, ओके। वो जेन्युइन केयर नहीं है। इट्स ऑल अबाउट यूएस पॉलिटिकल इंटरेस्ट, फाइनेंशियल इंटरेस्ट। जब तक तुम भाई यूएसए का जूते चाट रहे हो, तुम्हें सब कुछ मिलेगा। जिस दिन तुम चाटना बंद करोगे, तुम पे बॉम्ब्स पड़ेंगे।
To a détente in the region so we can have mutual prosperity. But the choice is with the Iranian Ayatollahs.
We will be watching that with bated breath. Meantime, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte giving praise to President Trump yesterday for his role in getting NATO members to agree to that 5% total amount of defense spending. Listen.
President Trump, dear Donald, you made this change possible. Your leadership on this has already produced $1 trillion in extra spending from European allies since 2016. And the decisions today will produce trillions more for our common defense to make us stronger and fairer by equalizing spending between America and America's allies.
Alex, did Donald Trump just usher in a new era of peace through strength, not just in America, but throughout the world, with both the Iranian strike and this 5% NATO commitment?
Todd, he's done more than any president since Ronald Reagan to.
भाई इससे बस यूएसए के इंटरेस्ट को फ़ायदा होने वाला है, और नेटो कंट्रीज के। ये लोग जानते हैं अगर कोई इनसे पंगा लेगा तो फोड़ देंगे भाई। तो ईरान क्यों अभी यूएसए से पंगा लेगा? नहीं लेगा वो। अगर लेगा तो बहुत सोच समझ के उसको चाइना रशिया की ज़रूरत है, नहीं तो भूल जाओ। इट इज़ इम्पॉसिबल। कौन इस पागल इंसान से पंगा लेगा? कौन पागल इंसान से पंगा लेगा? कोई नहीं लेगा।
Build a world that understands peace is only possible if the United States has a overwhelming capacity.
I would say peace is only possible when you are agreeing with United States of America. इधर आपके एलाई में होने चाहिए यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका और आपके एलाइज में होने चाहिए रशिया और चाइना, बस। नहीं तो पीस है ही नहीं आपके जीवन में, आपके कंट्री में। बस वॉर ही वॉर है, बस वॉर ही वॉर है, या तो सिविल वॉर या तो external wall.
Capability and willingness to use force as needed on the global stage. And I think we're going to see incredible opportunities for peace because the president has been so willing to be that dynamic actor on the global stage. And let's be very clear, Todd, about NATO. Harry Truman may have